2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Brick by Brick, the podcast with Antonio T. Smith Jr. and myself, Tempestt S. Smith. Thank you to those of you who are watching us live again. It is still weird, but it's not as weird as it was 2 weeks ago. But we enjoy your faces, your feedback, your questions. I appreciate it. So, I ain't gonna talk too much because I got a lot.
No, you're gonna talk
Antonio?
plenty. Yeah, no, you're gonna talk
right
plenty.
now.
Oh, okay.
We ain't doing all that right now. Antonio, how are you on this wonderful Sunday?
I just ate 3 avocados, I think. They were fantastic. Fantastic. If that sounds like a lot, that's all I'm eating. I'm under 1,000 calories, probably under 500 calories a day at this point. It is good. Let me tell you, avocados are fantastic. I don't know what's going on between. Well, I do know that's how biceps got. That is something. That's how these biceps got so big. I don't know to say. This. Got to be sexy. But anyway, it's fantastic. That's how I'm feeling, Tempest. I'm feeling avocado swag-like. That's what I'm feeling right now.
Okay.
There you go.
Hey.
There you go. That's how I feel.
If you like it, I love it.
That's it. I like and love it. It's good stuff.
Okay.
Well, tell them what we're talking about today. I'm going to lean back. You got plenty to say on this.
Our topic this evening or today is leading on empty. So let me do a little disclaimer on my behalf. I can't speak for Antonio, but I ain't holding back nothing today. What comes out, I said what I said. I meant it how I said it. I ain't apologizing. I ain't coming back saying, oops, I said it. If you feel like I'm talking about you, I'm probably talking about you. Don't ask me, don't call me, don't text me. I don't care. Because I am on empty. And I ain't got much in me. I ain't got no Jesus in me. I ain't trying to hear all that today. We in flip a table Jesus mode. And that's where I'm at. Antonio?
That's a good place to be. No, I don't disagree with none of that. It's hard running a company, ain't it? Now try running as many as Tempest run. And then try running with all the people, right? Yeah, it's hard. No, I don't have any disclaimers. Y'all know me. Everything she just said, that's how I am 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So y'all not even surprised by that. All right, let's roll, Tempest. Let's roll. I'm ready.
So I don't even have questions. I ain't got no talking point. We just gonna talk because.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
How does a CEO get empty?
People.
Yep, people is the number one.
People who say, I love you, I'm going to follow you to the end of the earth, and then they flip.
That does happen. That does happen. Sounds like you thinking about some folk. That does happen.
I am.
That does happen. That people will knock the praise the Lord right out of you. They have that ability. They really do. Let's see. What other things would make a CEO empty? And if you are a pastor, you're a CEO, basically. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Missing. I'll go. Since you said people, I'll give one, and we'll just go back and forth. Missing targets. You miss enough targets, that'll make you empty. Yeah. We have someone in chat said broken promises.
Oh.
I know you got something to say about that. That bothers you. That bothers you way more than it bothers me.
Yeah.
Just for the record, y'all, that bothers Tempest way more than that bothers me. It does. See, if you tell her to do something, if you said something, she's gonna hold you at your word. She don't like when they say broken. But anyway, go ahead, Tempestt. If you want to comment on broken promises.
So I'll comment on it briefly, then I'll just go on to my next point. If you're not going to do what you say you're not going to do, then don't tell me. You know what I mean? I'd rather you say, I ain't doing it, than to tell me I'm going to do it. And then when it's time for you to show up, you either absent or your hands empty, or you expect someone else to pick up the slack while giving you praise for what you didn't do.
All right, so there's a whole lot going on in there. Can you repeat it? Do you have it in you to repeat it? Are you still in that same energy? There's a whole lot there.
I don't know what I said.
That was like 6 reasons. Reasons. And that last one, and giving you praise while you ain't doing nothing. That one there? Yep, that one to get it. We got someone with their hand up, Tim. Let's see if they on this energy. Christopher Holmes. Come on down while the price is right. Let's see if you got something to say here.
I can't show my video because I'm driving right now. I got to stay focused, but can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Please stay focused. I'd rather not you to me.
Yeah. So I'm going to put it like this, saying in a slang way, but it's just pretty blunt. Snakes. So you got to watch who you put in your inner circle, because if you allow the wrong person to kind of pierce inside of what you're doing, your vision, it can disrupt your focus. You can't pretty much tell everybody what you got your goals on, and that can disrupt any kind of CEO.
Well, Chris came here clearly to make sense today. All right. He just came right out the gate making sense. All right. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate you. Keep driving since you want to make sense today. He just came right out here, Tempestt, making sense. Tempestt, we'll toss that to you since he want to make sense and you like to make sense. You heard him. He's not telling people your vision, or not telling all people what you got going on. Giving people praise when they don't deserve it, or people who expect praise and their actions are praiseless. Yeah, look at you. You sitting over there. You got so much to say. Come on, let us hear it. It's an audio podcast. And facial expressions talking though.
A snake in your organization or in your downline or in your church or wherever might as well just poison. Might as well just go and pour the poison on me right now instead of pretending to be my friend and you in camouflage the whole time. Go and tell me straight up that you ain't about nothing, so I can make a decision up front instead of you pretending to be. See, it's not my fault because I wasn't going to talk about this. Instead of you pretending to be something that you are not, and then I find out later down the road when it's too late and you've destroyed stuff that other people have built on their backs. Yeah, I ain't with that. And especially today, I ain't with that.
It's good to see your strong CEO come out. I sure appreciate you. Now, that's pretty deep. That is pretty deep. Snake, so you want to make sense. Chris, anybody else want to make sense before Ms. Pam says something in chat?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You can read it.
Following directives from CEO, doing things their own way, even though told to do it a specific way. Help me.
Lord have mercy. All right, let me read that because we got a pastor on the line. So I'm gonna read it again. Instead of saying CEO, not following directives from the pastor, doing things their own way, even though you told them to do it a specific way. Now we hit everybody, right? At least everybody on the call right now. Tempestt, come on, you on fire. How does that feel like? How does that make one empty? So right now we just listing things that make CEOs empty.
If you know so much, run it. That's how I feel when that happens.
Lord have mercy. You got to sit there and be on with you. Let me tell you. You spoke right You spoke right in their spirit. Look, if you know so much, run it. Why don't you go ahead and do it if you know so much? Well, here's another thing that'll make us see. Now this ain't for this. Everyone's going to feel this because you all have done it, been through it. A few of you practice character daily, and you're going to feel it more than others. Those of you with high levels of empathy, and you always get beat up on and smacked around, you're going to feel this too. A CEO can get tired from doing the right thing all the time. I don't know how that makes some of y'all feel, but turn the other cheek sure is exhausted, isn't it? Oh, I've been ran out of cheeks, that's for sure. Come on, who? I want to hear from the audience. We're gonna switch it up a little bit. Who would agree or disagree? That's fine too. At turning the other cheek or doing the right thing all the time.
All right, I'm gonna have to come out on this one.
Come on, Chris. Come on. He can't even drive right now.
So I will say, especially coming from a small town, and just like when you're like constantly growing and you're elevating your mind, you're just trying to develop yourself. You're going to constantly face those challenges. You get some very strong negative feedback, or just someone that doesn't just want the best out of your. And they see you pretty much progress, and they just don't want to see you progress. So it's a lot of times you're gonna be faced with situations where you're like, let me be the better person, and I say nothing like, I'm gonna leave it alone, or I'm gonna ignore it. Because there's been times like I'm speaking on my own personal experience where I have done a lot of great community events, motivated, inspired people and things like that. But every once in a while, someone will try to spread rumors, and I don't even do anything at all. But I know that comes with success. So I strongly agree with that. You just got, you have your moments where you want to be like, but you just like, it gets tiring.
Yeah, it does. And I don't disagree with that at all. I most certainly don't. Well, Tempestt, I think we listed a few. Y'all know it. Y'all been through the fire. We can list reasons until the cows come flying home. We know we can. Tempestt, let's get to the meat of it. How does one continue to lead? Actually, let's qualify this leading word real quick, okay? Let's do that. What kind of leading are we talking about? Let's define what level of leadership we're talking about at a CEO would do. So what level of leadership are we talking about, Tempestt? We got, servant leadership, and, are we talking about selfish leadership? Are we talking about just regular average leadership? Which standard are we jumping to for this podcast?
Oh, definitely servant leadership, because those are the people who get hit the most.
All right, so are we talking about superior servant leadership, sorry, are we talking about, because servant leadership is just servant leadership. Are we talking about servant leadership that leads to superior results, or just servant leadership outside of the results? The results don't matter, just the servant leadership and keep going. Which one? There is a difference.
Yeah, it is a difference.
So since you said both, let's stick with, well, let's stay in that spirit. Let's say both. All right. Let's go servant leadership alone without the superior results. Tempestt, how does one, give me one of those, anyone. Somebody throw out one. Snakes in the grass, not hitting your deadlines. Give me anyone you want to talk about. All right, not doing what you was told that you was supposed to be doing. Purposely going against the grain, not following. I'm just pumping her up right now because I'm stepping on all her triggers. I know how to hit them triggers. Not doing what I said do, and now you done costed us money, time, and energy, and people mad at you, and now I got to deal with the fallout. How does a servant leader deal with that, Tempestt? I mean, how does a servant leader deal with that and lead beyond it?
So you're supposed to lead like everything's your fault. Even if person X know what they're supposed to do and they didn't do it, or they did it their way and it wasn't to the standard or to the excellence of the culture, it's still your fault, right? Because you're a certain leader. Fault always comes back on the leader. So ideally, you're supposed to take that, correct it, and move forward. Not blame the person, not, be meek and mild Jesus. You're supposed to do all that stuff. Love on them. Love them back to wholeness. Rally the troops back up, because that affects other people, and then move forward, right? Because if I stop and beat this person up or go off on this person, then that creates a totally different culture, totally different environment than what a servant leader is supposed to lead, if that makes sense.
All right. Let's go to one of the things you said that people like to say, yeah, I do that, but they don't. A servant leader is supposed to say, everything is my fault, and approach every action as is, you know what? I know you messed up, but that was on me. Here's what we'll do next time. Why on earth do you say that is supposed to be that way?
If you are a leader and you're leading leading with correct motives, then you want the praise when things go right, so you have to take the hits when things go wrong. You don't just get to be a leader when you on top. You have to be a leader when things ain't going right as well.
All right, so you still want to make sense today. Okay, then. All right. I guess we're going to have a Make Sense podcast. All right, I got you. Okay. Now, okay, well, I guess you can toss questions to me now. You toss them to me, since you run all this stuff anyway.
I do not run this stuff anyway.
Hey, don't front on camera. Don't front on camera. Come on now. Come on.
As a leader, because you've been leading for a long time, and as a pastor, and God knows everything else that you do, what does it feel like to be that servant leader, taking those hits when you are doing everything right, and the people that you put in positions are purposely doing the wrong things? What does that feel like? Pamela Norris.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Pam should be shaking her head.
This has been my week.
Go ahead, Pam.
This is my week. Tony's like, I'm screaming around the house. I'm like, what do? I have to pray for my staff, and I go take a nap. It's like, I'm going to kill somebody, It's like, what? I lose it. I have very little patience for foolishness. And, I know about being a servant leader, and it's like, it is very difficult. I've had an entire week of this. So this topic, I'm like, did you look into my life this week? My house is in disarray because I'm about to be a raving banshee, and I'm doing everything not to kill people, and I'm praying for me. I'm praying for my staff that they will get their act together. And Lord, look. I
know that's right, girl.
What the hell is happening in their life that they ain't doing the right thing? And all I can do is pray. And then I'm going to bed because I can't be dealing with anybody right now. Y'all don't want me around. So I'm going to my room, closing the door. Mama's taking a time out.
All right. All right. I heard it. No. That is hear her, because that's the CEO talking. Jerome got something to say. Come on, Jerome. I still remember the question, Tempestt.
Pamela.
Go ahead, Jerome.
You gave yourself a timeout?
Yes, Jerome. Sometimes, even mama's got to have a timeout.
No, girl.
You don't blow the whole company.
No, girl.
Sometimes you need a timeout. Sometimes you need vodka.
You got to do what you got to do. And I'm important. I don't need to have another heart attack or anything. And I want
the girl said I'm important. I know that's right.
So if I need a timeout, I give me, the CEO, a timeout. I go to my room and say, stay.
Antonio, I do want to comment on something you said earlier.
Sure. Well, I'm about to say something too real after this here, so you're going to have to comment again. Go ahead.
In reference to being a servant leader, I have been on the calls where you were explaining something and you were sharing something and people were responding, or individuals were responding, and what you said made perfect sense. They didn't agree with it, and sometimes I don't agree with you either, but it still made sense. But what I don't do is I don't argue with the truth. I don't argue with the facts, because the facts don't change whether you're saying them or somebody else is saying them. But I've watched you at times, and you once or twice you lost it for a second, and then you caught yourself. I said, "Oh Lord, you about to go there," but you caught yourself and came back, and I was like, because that look was, I'm telling you, Antonio, it was there. Like, are you crazy? Let me tell you, and you were fine. But I get frustrated because sometimes I'll jump in and say, excuse me, like I'm your buddy, like I'm your mouthpiece. No, it's you're telling the truth. You ain't got to agree with it. That doesn't change the truth. And even though Antonio said it, and sometimes, your head, remember I said earlier about your head getting big? You got your muscles big. Your head gets big. What you eat make that get big? The point is that you do that, but you still tell the truth. And you can get mad, angry, but it's still the truth. And that's not going to make you better by sticking your head in the sand and not doing what you need to do. And it hurts everything. That part frustrates me. I think you and Tempestt do a great job in reference to being servant leaders. I love the way Tempestt deals with you when you get out of hand. I love it. Yeah. Oh, I do. I love it. Because you push the envelope and she jacks you up. And then she sits back and then she jacks. I love it. But the point is, I think you guys do a really good job as servant leaders on these calls. I have to say that. Because some of the time it is frustrating, but you guys I think you handle it well. I really do so.
Sure appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. First off, poor people. Yes, you sure can. You sure can. Go ahead.
Leadership.
You good.
That's my lane. I love what Pam did because she's frustrated. But here's the issue with servant leadership. It is about serving those that support our business and then the customer. So if someone's not doing something correctly, our job as servant leaders is to get with them where they are and figure out with their assistance. They got to buy into it. What will it take for us to get back on track? What do you need to get back on track? Then they own it. So our job as servant leaders is to serve those we lead by being empathetic, being supportive, and letting them own where they tripped up and then come up with their own solutions and support it. So we don't have to it's easy for us to get mad and angry. So our job is not necessarily to tell them what to do. It's like in agreement. We messed up, right? And we can say we messed up. What needs to happen next? Do you have a suggestion? What would you recommend? Let them buy into the solution, then they own it. Serve it.
You know what? I'm glad. No, that's fantastic. I'm glad you said that. That's Adonia all the way from California. I'm just saying that for audible purposes. You're getting a woo over here, Adonia. You got some fans over here. Tempestt, before I get to Chris, let's have you ride that same energy Adonia just did, because she's right. Everything she said is 100% facts. I mean, it's in books, it's not in books, it's just in pure human decency. How do you, Tempestt, respond to when people are not on track? What do you do, and what tips could you give us to make sure we can do everything Adonia just said as well?
What do I do?
Yeah, I mean, because basically, in a nutshell, when she was saying, how can I put you back in the right seat on this bus? Are you even on the right seat? What can we do? How can C-level respond to you to make it better for you and move forward with you, right?
So the first thing I try to do is talk it out with you, because I know I can get in my feelings, and if I just go off, it's not going to come out right. It's going to have a bigger problem. So I try to use you as a sounding board to make sure that what I'm feeling is correct and that I vent to you, so I'm not venting at the person. Does that make sense? So I'm not going, I go off in your ear, so I'm not going off on them, right? I take a time out, like Eleanor says, because if I don't take a time out, we're going to have a problem in Houston, right? I'm going to be on the news or something, and it ain't going to go well, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, 6 o'clock news. The CEO of the education company brutally slays an employee.
ABC
More at
13.
7.
That's it.
Keep going.
But
Now, good. That's real good.
yeah,
Yeah,
I try to
real
use
good.
you, because if I just pop off, then it ain't no servant leadership. It's yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. We're gonna get Chris, and we're gonna get Daryl next. All right, let's flip it real quick. Daryl, let's get you first, since Chris already talked, and then Chris, you're right after Daryl.
Well, millennials, this is where the baby boomers come in and support you, right? Because I've been through what you said. First of all, I would say the first thing to deal with any foxes in the henhouse, snakes in the grass, whatever you want to call it, is to know, number one, the fox is there for a reason. The snake is there for a reason. He's put there for a reason. Part of it is to test us. As a chef, I expected certain things to happen in my restaurant. Number one, I expected people to steal from me. That's pilferage. That was put into my business plan. A certain amount of my product was going to be stolen from me. So I expected that. So the first thing I would say, expect those things to happen, and how you deal with it. I'm along with Adonia there when you say there's just certain things, certain ways you deal with people, and you let them own what belongs to them, and then you move away from them. I never really understood this whole ideal of servant leadership. That's not my personality. I expect you, and I don't want to go to the Bible, but we all know what happened with that deceiver with Jesus, right? Did we not know that Jesus expected that to happen? He knew that person was there for a reason. And, that's literally all I have to say. The fox in the henhouse and the snake is there for a reason. We just have to know what that reason is. And the person closest to us is the person that can hurt us the most.
Y'all hear that? Receive it. Don't just let it be words. He ain't said nothing. In fact, he reached out to me today on some stuff because he knows some internal stuff. He reached out to me today. We started off with, he said, baby boom, this is when we've been here from millennials, right? Don't just receive it. All right? Receive everything everybody said, because nobody has been wrong. In fact, everyone is hitting the same nail on the head. The nail is in. We just drive it through the woods at this point. Chris, let me hear from you. And then after that, I'll answer Tempest's question.
All right, cool. Now, flipping it around, one thing I will say I think is very important is, as a business owner, to take care of yourself. Because if you have like the negative mindset and things like that, it's going to drive you to make actions that you don't really want to take. So one thing that I do a lot on a daily basis, like I like doing workouts, listening to podcasts, reading, and things like that. And, every once in a while, treating yourself and make sure you're good. Because if you just allow all that, negative and all these things just to build up, eventually you're going to get, stressed out, tired, and then, you may make a decision that you don't want to do and may end up on the news. And I'm really pushing it. But the thing is make sure you take care of yourself, because, we're all human beings at the end of the day. And, we got to have our rest so that we can be able to perform at, our best efforts.
That's facts, man. That's facts. I'm glad. That's actually the first time someone said take care of yourself. Tempest kind of, when she says she vents to me, that is a form of taking care of yourself. And she's saving her legacy and her reputation all at the same time. So good job there. Thank you for bringing it up. Tempest original. Well, actually, let me not run past that so fast. Take care of yourself. He's absolutely right. Now he did physical exercise. He said podcast. But I want you to pay attention. He take care of yourself by getting that negativity out. Physical exercise. Listen to podcasts. Put some positivity in. Stump on the ground or punch a bag so you don't have to punch that snake. Okay. hard to go to jail when you're taking care of yourself. I'm trying to help somebody. Right? All right. Good stuff, Chris. Appreciate you. Tempestt asks, how does it feel? We were talking about the I don't want to give away the answer, but how does it feel to be wronged? I'll just sum it up real quick. And 3 things immediately popped in my head, and I'll just tell them to you. I'll just tell them to you. At no point in servant leadership, actually, there's only one point in servant leadership does anything feel good. The rest always feels bad. It always does. It always does. This is why you don't have many servant leaders. You're either always going to feel underappreciated. Well, let me put it in first person. I always feel underappreciated. Let me do it that way. I don't want to offend nobody, right? I want to tell you. Or I always am crucified. I spend 98% of my leadership either being used, misused, underappreciated, perform small miracles, and I get 2 reactions when I perform small miracles. Nothing, or that's what you're supposed to do. Duh. You always do that, right? I'm telling you, when you're good, it's actually a curse. Okay, it's actually a curse. To give you a great example of this, we said, if you watch basketball, we said LeBron James had a bad year this year. As of this recording, this is 2019. The Toronto Raptors just won the NBA championship. LeBron James had a bad year. He averaged 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists. That is a fantastic year for anybody. It's above fantastic. But since it's LeBron, it's a down year. That's crazy. That makes no sense at all. But being good as a leader, that's the problem, right? That's always the problem. You get that. I mean, if you didn't dunk from full court, if you didn't score 100, you ain't do nothing, right? That thing like that. I always feel underappreciated, or I always feel crucified. Well, I don't feel crucified. I get crucified, right? The only time I feel good in servant leadership, because remember, my job is not to feel good. My job is to make others feel good. And that is when I feel good. When someone, my team, some customer, someone starts winning, and the winning is tangible. When the winning becomes tangible, it makes all that 98% bad go, it was worth it. Every time. One win from one person gives me 6 years of energy. It does. It really does. The moment I see someone finally get it and start dropping content, and then start making money, or go off and, get that big speaking engagement, become a millionaire, whatever it is, whatever that win is for that person, that makes everything worth it. So concisely, it always sucks. The feeling is never well, right? It's not designed to be, because I am a leader, and leadership is never meant to be comfortable. And that's the truth. You can't want to be a leader and want comfort. You just can't do that. It's inappropriate. It's not leadership. It's fame. It's glory you're looking for. You want to be a gladiator or something, right? You want the trophy. You don't want the 4 years of practice. You want the gold medal, right? But you don't want to get on the track and change your diet for 4 years. Leadership is always meant to be uncomfortable, period. And if you are a CEO, you get freaking paid to be uncomfortable. And if you don't want that to happen, then share your check. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it. If you want, and I'll say this, and I'll pass it back to Tempestt. If you want people to work as hard as you, to do personal development like you, and to be as servant as you need to give them your check. Period. Because you are paid to be better than them in those humble areas. That's why you're the CEO. That's why you get the big check. That's why when you sell, you get the big payday. Because you got the big pay. Because they got to get a holiday you didn't. They got to quit, you did not. They got to call in, you couldn't. And if that don't sit well with you, pastor, CEO, executive assistant, whatever you may be in leadership, you need to give up your check. Because you can't expect people to get paid a fraction of what you get paid and then turn around and do 100% of what you should be doing. It's not fair. Cynthia and Dion have a comment, question, and then back to you, Tempestt.
Okay, well, this is Dion. Cynthia's, of course, right now doing what she does best. So she's talking to one of her student clients. So first I want to say kudos to you servant leaders, because all of us cannot do that. I'd be the unselfish ones. And I'm saying this because she wouldn't allow me to say this. One of those people. And I have to piggyback off what Tempestt said, the fact she vents and she goes off with you about whatever's going on. You have someone where you can release that steam. You have to have someone or you'll just lose it. I'm that someone for her background, fighting the battle, wanting to fight the battles, but she's the one that stands there and it's okay. It's all going to come out in the end, and it drives me crazy, but you have to have people like that, and she's one of those people. So anyway, kudos to you and those like you, true servant leaders, because all of us can't do
tough.
that. Yeah.
It's tough. It's a learning practice. It doesn't even, every bit of leadership comes with side effects, and all of them are correct. Donald Trump's leadership is correct. You don't have to like him. His leadership is correct. What will make it incorrect is him doing that leadership at the wrong times. You get what I'm saying? If it's a fire or the ship is going down, Donald Trump leadership is perfect. Period. That's like, why am I going to vote to get you out of a burning building? That don't make no sense. Let me write this executive directive. Let me just tell you what to do. Let's just do that. But when we are having a conversation like this and I don't give you a voice, it's no longer correct, right? My attempt there was to show you that all leadership styles are correct. What makes them incorrect, using that word, is when you put them in the wrong position or the wrong time. Or when you're so smart, you don't hear Adonia when she's speaking and she just wanted to be heard. It's not that talking was incorrect. It's not that you were smart was incorrect. It's that it wasn't your time to talk. It wasn't your time to be smart. It was your time to shut up and listen. All right? You just got to know when certain things go in certain places, which leads me back to Tempestt. Tempestt, I have a really, really tough question for you. Do you want to make your comments first, or do you want me to hit you with this tough question? My question is going to make you, all right, it's going to make you rip your skin off. Here we go. Tempestt, you've built this company from the ground up. Without a doubt. It would be nowhere without you. It's not even up for discussion. At this point, we're so good and so busy and we have so many employees. You have to do more now than you've ever done because I just simply can't do it. Can't do it because I don't have the skill set, or can't do it because I don't have the time. Period. And you get 3% credit. Surely. And here's the crazy part. And I'm always throwing credit her way. Credit. Boom, 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 boom. Always. It ain't 3% for me. It's 3% for my customers, okay? Or large fan base. It ain't me. We covered that on like another show last time or whatever. That'll make you empty, won't it, Tempestt? Don't give me no church answer. I don't want it. Don't want it. I don't want it.
I don't have a church answer in me today, but
Good.
yes, that makes you feel. Have we talked about this, or was that a private conversation?
I don't even know right now.
I don't remember.
It's good for this conversation.
It makes you feel invisible, and at that point, why am I here? Right? That kind of conversation pops up into your head, and you feel like you don't have a place, but you have a place. Like you have a silent place. And, and you watch other people come in and get recognition and credit, and you still invisible. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So well, let me just say, stop saying you. I would be full and ready to go, but then kind of stand there like, so what do I do? And what do I do? What do I do? And there's nothing for me to do. So going back to why am I here? Going back to emptiness, going back to, you might as well just tell them to do it because they're going to do it anyway. They're going to get the credit for it anyway. So why call me?
How much energy does that take out of you?
Everything.
How many times? Does each time take out everything, or the accumulation of times take out everything?
I would say at this point, just each time.
Mm-hmm. That's the answer.
In the
I was
beginning, I would
say.
try to like fill myself back up so I can, feel like I'm on the team. But then after a while, it's like, why fill myself back up? Because I already know what's going to happen.
That'll make you be empty, won't it?
Make you be empty, make you stay empty, make you not show up.
Mm-hmm. How did you lead yourself past that? Let me hold on. Stop. That actually happened here, this company. Okay. Now, for multiple different reasons. Obvious reasons, but then unobvious reasons that you would never see. When you get good, when money starts coming in, you actually got to hire people. Oh, we about to say a whole lot right here. Jerome is about to get real good. You got to hire people. And when you hire, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to change my tone too, Pam Norris. And when you hire people, you have to give up what made your identity in the company to some employees with your like skill set so they can have an identity as well. But how do you handle it when you have to give up the only thing keeping you visible to a multitude of staff, knowing since the holes haven't been fixed, or since the projection of your new CEO status hasn't been set in place, there is an undetermined time of your invisibility. And you have to do it because you're a servant, because you have to choose on who's going to be invisible, the new hire or the CEO. And every time Tempestt chose the new hire is to be visible, I am to be invisible. Now that we set that up, Now you understand. Tempestt, how did you lead yourself past that?
I had to constantly ask myself, am I here to be seen or am I here for the mission? And it was never to be seen. It was always to help other people be better. So if it took me taking a further back seat on the bus, then so be it. Because I'm happier when I'm helping other people from the back. I hated being seen. You know what I mean? But it's
Yep.
I had to keep asking myself.
Being unseen is great, but being unappreciated, like, don't equivalize unappreciated with unseen, because that's not what she's saying. Just because you're unseen doesn't mean take away my, like, don't unsee my appreciation either. If I got an invisible role, please don't make the invisible appreciation. Don't do that. I need my appreciation to be very visible if I am to take an invisible role. Am I lying somewhere, Tempestt?
No.
All right.
No.
Now, and we both had to do it. Before Tempestt, we're both extreme introverts. The way I grew up, I had to force myself to learn extrovert things, extrovert tendencies, because I was in a trash can. You can't forget that you have to extrovert yourself out of a trash can. Like, do not get it twisted. There is no real way to go from extreme homelessness to successful as an introvert. There's no real way to get that done. You have to learn how to influence friends and people. You have to. There's so much there that never gets talked about when people interview me on the radio. Like, it never gets talked about. But I had to I had to learn extroverted skill sets just to get out that trash can and stay out of it. Tempestt has never had to do that. She's never had to adopt that many extroverted skill sets. But the way she solved the problem had a lot to do with adopting extroverted skill sets. And I want to hear, which ones did you, you've been on the radio in interviews a lot. You teach every Friday in this biz university, except for right now because you're in that major product. But when you're finished, you'll be right back teaching. You're on stages all the time. You are a keynote speaker. You have worldwide come on now. But in this invisible stage, none of that was existed. So tell us, how did you go from supreme introvert, and then what extroverted skill sets did you adopt to get your visibility back?
I don't know.
Yeah, you never thought about it before. Everybody loves you. Who loves Tempestt? All right.
That's a loaded question. You can't ask a question like that.
But they gonna tell you. You know how many people? Who's the greatest CEO in this company? There's nobody on this call that's gonna say that I'm a better CEO than Tempestt. I am not. Everyone knows that. I'm not a better CEO than Tempestt. She's a better CEO. I am a fantastic leader. Those are two different things.
Yeah, because I'm not the best leader. So we're going to lead you down the wrong path. It's not, yeah.
Okay,
that's a different.
Did y'all hear that? Look, I am a fantastic leader. I ain't really a good CEO. I'm a above average CEO. Tempestt is a brilliant CEO. She's got all those boxes checked. Leadership, she'd be like, this is fire them all, Tony. Just fire them all. They get on my nerves. Just fire them all. I ain't lying. She has no grace. Y'all have no idea. I am the most empathetic out of me and Tempestt. When it comes to business, now when it comes to personal, Tempestt is the most empathetic. Unless you cross her, and then you're dead. And then, God bless you, which means go to hell in Christian talk. Okay? That's the only time Christians say God bless you means go to hell, right? I hope the Lord punishes you swiftly is what that means. Okay. Okay. Swiftly. I am far more empathetic than Tempestt in business. Am I lying, Tempestt?
No. Not even.
It's not even close. It's not even close. It's not even close. It's not even close. She when it comes to business, she has my personality. When it comes to personal, she's a far better person I can ever be. Business, Pam Norris, if the rules said don't be late 3 times or you get fired, you're fired. I'm just telling you what it is. With Tempestt, that's Tempestt. It's just boom, bam, thank you, ma'am. You know the rules. I don't feel bad. The rules say. That's the rules. That's the rules. Yeah, good show to show again. So Tempestt, what would I do? We get on each other's nerves with this.
Oh,
What would I do in that situation, Tempestt?
Oh, well, just let him make it. Let's talk to him. Why we got rules if you gonna talk to them? The rules say they out of here. Ain't no talking. You know what it was?
And let me tell you, there's a few heartbreaks that I wouldn't have had if I had her personality in business. It's the truth. It's the truth. Like I don't think one is right or wrong. There's a few heartbreaks that I would not have had if I'd have been more like Tempestt. And of course, wouldn't even be no company if I was more like Tempestt. She'd have been like, you know what? I'll just do it myself. All y'all go. I got it from here, right? And she'd just do that there. And she'd go to Fiverr and hire some programmers and make some software, and then she'd be like, all right, let's go. And she'd do it all. Tempestt, I have a pretty good question for you. Actually, you know what? Why don't you ask me a pretty good question? Because we're actually gonna go. We're gonna extend this right now because there's too much to talk about in this one.
A question for you.
Oh, no question? I got one for you.
No, I don't have a question.
Sweet. Let's go back to this invisible thing. Yeah, I want to rip your skin off publicly. Here we are.
Why?
Because it's good TV. Oprah moments. Here we are. You're no longer invisible. Not even close. But at the same time, you're not even close to being visible. How does one lead your way out of that obscurity? You get all the credit you deserve, and then you don't get any of the credit you deserve. It's not as bad as it used to be. It meets your standards, but it's still not fair. Hold on real quick. Has anybody ever gone through that? To where it's good and bad at the same time? You don't have enough to shout about, but you got more than enough to complain about? Anybody? Okay, I don't think I'm getting transparency on this call. Hold on.
Hey, Antonio.
Come on, kid.
Well, nobody complains after we read your book, so nobody ever complains.
Ah, that's the problem. We're so happy and grateful, but that's the problem. Okay, that makes sense. That is the problem. That is the problem. You can get to the point in which everything's good. In fact, there's a better way to say that. Let me say it in a poetical way, and all y'all will get it. You can get to the point to where you make less money than you've ever had, but you own more than you ever did. Anybody there? Okay, I got Grace. Yeah. All right, got Dion. Okay, got Cynthia. Okay, like you make far less than you ever made in your life, but you got more. That's frustrating. I know we're supposed to, oh, thank you, but that is frustrating. That's frustrating. I don't care with nobody. That is a frustrating position to be at because you know you're worth more than what you're currently receiving, and that pisses people off. It does. It absolutely does. You look around at your house and you see it going up. You see it going up in appreciation, but you like, why I can't make it go up? Why the government determines when my stuff go up? Let me not be too real. Chris Holmes, come save me before I get too woke up in here.
Well, I'm about to make it worse, so I'm about to be completely real. That is like one of the most frustrating things because you see everybody like living that lifestyle you see on YouTube and things like that, but you're making yourself like, all right, I know what my vision is, I know what the end result is, but it's a tremendous amount of faith, trust, and just knowing in the long term you're going to get the results that you want. And it's very hard when you see a lot of people trying to push this, especially in this age, the quick kind of thing, get rich kind of scheme, and then it's lifestyle that don't really last long. But if you build a strong foundation, if you stay patient and stick to your disciplines and things like that, you will get the lifestyle you want, but it will hold. And I think that's what makes it frustrating. Like, you're going to get the things you want, but you see everybody else around you getting the things that you want right now. And you just have to keep telling yourself to be patient.
It's that right now, bro. That right now kills all of us. That right now is poison. Right now is poison, y'all. It's poison. Stay away from it. I know it's easier said than done, but stay away from it. Woo! That right now has caused me to cuss a whole lot of people out. Let me tell you. I know y'all don't think I cuss, but I can get down like a sailor. I promise you I can. All the way down, Antonio. I can get all the way down with some cuss words. Sure can. I make a sentence full of cuss words a complete sentence somehow. I will. I sure will. It's rough. Tempestt. Let me tell y'all what Tempestt is. More successful than she's ever been. More money she's ever had. More potential money than she's ever fathomed of and dreamed of. And more command. More command and prestige than she's ever had. And she, to my knowledge, is by far the most successful person her family has ever produced. Ever produced. Ever. To my knowledge. To my knowledge. Yet, she's still in this. What period would you say you're, all that said, Tempestt, that's not the harvest you're enjoying. How would you describe the harvest you are enjoying? Because you actually are enjoying it, even if it's not the one you want right now.
Like present day harvest?
Present day.
I feel like the harvest that I'm in is in a comfortable spot, looking at what's to come, but still too far away to reach it. So what's popping in my head is Moses on the mountain and he's looking at the promised land, but he can't go into the promised land. Like, I feel like I'm there, you know? Not that God's
No.
gonna take me out and call Joshua. I'm just on the mountain. Can't get to what God promised me because it's something here. I think Liddell talked about this at his service that when we went to. It's something in the wilderness that I'm supposed to learn, and I ain't crossed over yet.
It's facts. And I'm glad you said, I was hoping you say something like that, but I'm glad you said it the way, because I really wanted to tell everybody something. And you just threw me a great alley-oop. Ladies and gentlemen, you have no fight until you go into the wilderness. You have no success until you go in the wilderness. You have no followers until you go into the wilderness. There's no president of sales and marketing until you go into the wilderness. No Dion, Cynthia, or Adonia until you go into the wilderness. They'll say, don't start over there. But let me put my weight on it there. You don't even know who the hell you are until you go into the wilderness. Neither can you relate to your God until you go to the wilderness. You can't. You can't. You have no idea where you are in relationship with your God and how you fit in that until the wilderness shows up and gives you perspective. See, because in Egypt, with all that running water, when ain't nobody else got none but you, it looked good. It's good. It's straight. Yeah. In that wilderness, when all you got is your faith and your ambition, you learn a lot about yourself.
Antonio,
You know, let me put my weight on it. Hold on, let me put my weight on it, Jerome.
Boy, you'd hit me right between the eyes, boy.
Come on, man. Come on, Jerome. Come on, man.
Let me tell you now. I went to the gas station the other day. Okay, put the Sam's Club card in. It took it. I can't put no gas on that card. I got to pull the other card out to put the gas on.
Jerome.
Come on now. Put the card in the machine. Know what the machine said? Re-enter the card. And I said, Lord, don't tell me I ain't got enough on this credit card to put gas in the car. I put the card back in and it took it. I said, thank you, Jesus. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, I said, Lord, I have never been at this point in my life financially.
Come on.
I can't even know that I got enough money on the credit card to put gas.
Come on.
But listen
Come on, Jerome.
But listen to me, Antonio. I can't go back. I can't go back. Let me tell you. And I done told him, I said, Lord, let me tell you something. I don't like this position that you don't put me in. And you know what he said, Antonio? Thank you for sharing that. Now keep it moving. I said, but you don't have to know. You don't keep it moving. I said, ooh, boy.
We about to help somebody.
Come on now. I said, no, he didn't. You don't know what that relationship is like until you don't have, but you see all that has come to pass. And I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at, and you got to keep it moving. You know why? Because, and I said this to somebody today. I said, I know I'm at my threshold. I know my breakthrough is coming, but here's what's going to happen. When it comes, Antonio, it's going to blow up. But if I don't connect with him now, I won't be connected to him when it blows up, and I'll be in trouble. And that's why I got to be connected. Come on now. Somebody.
That boy he just said, I'm leading on empty. That's what Jerome said. That's what he said. That's what he said. Oh, you got everybody in the chat, right? Ladies and gentlemen, when you hear this on the podcast, y'all can't see the chat blowing up, but the chat went crazy when Jerome started talking. Let me tell you, before I get Chris, I need y'all like stop being bougie. Stop. We're gonna extend it just a little more because some of y'all ain't got that you ain't got that pretending out of you yet, and the universe can't bless you because you fake. The universe can't bless the real you because the fake you is in your place. And get that fake out of you. It's hard as hell living life. It is. It is. It's hard living life. That's why it's a 1 in a billion chance you get here. It's hard out here.
I want it now, but I can't get it what I deserve.
And
and
now
what's
it's poison.
ain't gonna come now. It's gonna come when it's time, but I gotta be patient.
You know what? See, you know what? See, I wasn't gonna do it. I'm gonna get Chris and Grace, but I'm gonna tell y'all. Anybody, you know what? If you're not struggling, if you ain't got to pray over your credit card, if you ain't got to call or check the balance before you swipe, this ain't for you. This ain't for you. This ain't for you. But I'm saying every last one of y'all should be in a struggle like that. Even if you got a lot of finances, your life's still messed up. And I'm going to tell you why. Because what me and Tempestt built is about to change the whole world. And we, by default, put y'all 3 feet from gold.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
And life gets real hard when you 3 feet from gold. Since y'all vibrated at our frequency, we forced you to be 3 feet from gold.
Sir. Yes, sir.
This season in your life, it ain't your fault. Because it ain't a fault. It's not a fault. You supposed to. Okay, you're supposed to be here. I'm gonna lead all the way back now. Because I need y'all to get this. I'm gonna let Chris and I'm gonna let Grace go, but I need y'all to get this here. The mere fact that the opposite keeps showing up means the universe wants you to have that hell so you can appreciate what me and Tempestt is about to do in your life.
Come on, man.
And that's the truth. New Age thinking calls it law of opposites. You just got an old folks say you can't know God unless you try them. The truth is, y'all supposed to struggle. Because it ain't no struggle. It's the opportunity for you to appreciate what we about to do for you. Go ahead, Chris and Grace, before I get started.
You're going to probably feel good about what I'm about to say because I feel like you just gave me an alley-oop and I'm about to dunk it right now. So I'm going to say it like this. Like, using my own experience, like I just mentioned like a couple while back, where I had this issue where someone paid me with a fraudulent check and I had $2,000 pretty much yanked out of my account. And you just imagine how pissed off I was knowing I already used that money. But it really showed me like
them fighting words right there, bro.
Yeah, that was a tough blow. But because like even the person at the bank was like we don't normally see this, usually when this happens, this person just panics and starts crying and things like that. Now, of course, I was pissed off. But at that time, I tried to say, all right, you're already in a situation. What can I do right now to fix the situation and get myself back on track? So in that whole situation, I was able to stay focused, do what I need to do, and basically put all that money back in that same day. And the lady was like, what? Like, I ain't never seen this happen before. It's like, no, I wasn't letting my account just sit like that. But the reason, now this is where I'm about to slam it in. Now, you go through your challenges and tribulations and, your life experiences, but the main thing you're going through that is because that is part of your breakthrough. I feel like all your challenges and the things that you face in life is what's going to make you really relatable, and that's going to be your key to your success. Because once that happens, people they follow you, you inspire them, and they become more motivated to make that action because they saw that you actually drove through that storm and become a success. And that's what makes you get paid millions. Yes, I told you I was going to dunk it.
Boy, you a lot older than what you are, young man. I tell you that right now. Tell them how old you are.
27.
Wow.
27.
Youngster.
27, talking like a don't you.
Come on now.
Come on, Grace.
In listening to this tonight, I had to come out and say it and put myself out here on the chopping block. My CEOs being on empty, I have contributed to them emptiness.
Oh.
There were, times that, Antonio and Tempestt, I know they talk all the time, and so Antonio will relay back, okay, this is what we're going to do. And I didn't come out right and say, nah, I ain't done that. but my actions did. I would do partly of what he said, because in my head it'd be like, man, that is crazy. I've seen you do crazy stuff before, but I don't know this time. I'm gonna kind of do what you say, but I'm a little nervous. I don't know. But I have contributed to my CEO's emptiness. And let me tell you, I have learned, because I told myself, Grace, Antonio will warn you all the time, hey, you might want to do this, or you're going to vibrate yourself out of here. And I thought I listened, but I didn't. And let me tell you, y'all almost didn't see me. But through Antonio's grace, Tempest's grace, who's ever grace, because it wasn't this grace. You still see me, but I did want to say publicly, I do apologize to you, Antonio, to you, Tempest. And listen, no, it ain't that. Never again. It's whatever you say. Oh, I got that. I'm a little nervous, but tell me how to get through this so I can get to it, and we're gonna keep going. But I never want to contribute to your emptiness again. I've seen you, the both of you, just drain physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and I don't want to be a part of that reason. If anything, I want to help you get out of that and to help you help others what it is that you're here for. I am here for the vision. I'm here for the mission. If anybody else is like that with your CEO, with anybody, your leader, whoever it is, your pastor, get yourself out of that. Get with the mission. Get with the vision, and move forward. Get out of your own way. Get out of your ego, and vibrate at the frequency of where your leader says that they are going.
Couldn't have said that better myself. They clapping for you. Receive your clap. Let me tell y'all something. Tempest, get ready. I'm throwing it right back to you, and then we get out of here in 20 minutes or less. I have on hand more cash than my grandmother adopted me. That's her right there. That's her right there. My grandmother adopted me right there. Lorraine Temple Smith, July 1997. She adopted a 14-year-old knucklehead. Let me tell you. Knuckle, all caps. Knucklehead. She adopted me. I got more. She sleeps with her ancestors now. I have more money on hand today than her whole retirement check and Social Security, all of it, every last one of it. I have more money, and she was a nurse at University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston, Texas. There's only two places in America that can get rid of Ebola. Galveston Hospital is one of them, and one of the world's biggest AIDS research facility, Galveston, Texas, University of Texas Medical Branch. And I remember the show House. An episode of there was featured him going to Galveston for the leading research, blah, blah, blah. Big hospital. She was a nurse. I got more money on the way to me before the company launches than every dollar she made in 25 years working for the hospital. And I still got to lean on empty. Because when you have that mantle, people always want to crack it. I have a target on my back. People can't wait till I post something that offends them. They can't wait. They can't wait for me to walk out the wrong house. Don't pay the right tax. It just can't wait. It just absolutely can't wait. The safest place that I have in my life is in the hood, not my office, not my family, not my team. In the hood, what all the folk want is weed, PlayStation, and Xbox. It's the safest place I can walk into.
Yeah.
So where they say all the violence is at, they ain't worried about me. All they say is, boy, I'm so glad you made it. Just like that. I wish I had some real hood folk. I wish I had some. They smoke weed, go, oh, I'm glad you made it, boy. I'm glad you made it. That's it. That's all they do. They don't care nothing about me. They don't care what I got. As long as they can puff when they want to puff. That's all that matters. And I still got to walk on empty, which pushes me to Tempestt. Same situation. Everything I just said about me applies to Tempestt. And I'm not talking about when Daryl do his thing and then, make me a billionaire, which I appreciate you, Daryl. Thank you very much that you're actually going to make me a billionaire. I'm going to take you with me, though. But you are going to make me a billionaire. I can assure you that. But when you think about that, same thing applies to Tempestt. Yet, I spent maybe 92% of 2019 empty. Because that's my season right now. I have to pour into Daryl when I'm desperately waiting for someone to pour into me. I have to make sure everything's taken care of when no one's taking care of me. Or when they do take care of me, it's with a knife that's going to come right after it. No different than Tempestt. Tempestt, give us your take on it. Let's just say stop. That's enough. It sounds like you understand it there. Tempestt, what's your take on it?
Earlier you said that as far as you know, I'm the most successful person in my family, but I don't get to say that out loud, if that makes sense. Because there is a success story that prides themselves on being the success story. They built that identity, and if I were to really say, wow, this is what it is, it would be.
You got a donut with you right now. Keep preaching.
So not only am I hidden in the company, I'm hiding myself in my family.
Come on, girl.
So they don't see what I truly am.
Don't preach that thing. Don't preach that thing, Tempestt. Don't preach it, girl.
Ooh, you got everybody now. You got every square on this screen. This is final thoughts by Tempestt and Smith. Go ahead, Tempestt.
So I can't say out loud, I'm buying my mama a house. I can't say out loud that I am going to financially support her for the rest of her life to where she don't have to pay for nothing. I don't get to say that. Amen. I don't get to share that with a sibling. I don't get to share that with relatives. I have to keep that to myself, because if I were to articulate that out loud, it would be an issue. It would be targets on my back and on my mother's back, and we ain't having that, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm there. I'm there in my family. I'm there in the world, because I don't get to say that I'm a Black woman who's running a multi-million-dollar business. I don't get to say that I'm a Black woman building my own business, because you know what the deal is. And in certain cases, I don't get to lead the way that I want to lead, because then I'm thinking about, well, I'm representing all Black women. I'm representing a certain group of women. You know what I mean? And I don't want to turn out to be a B and make everybody else who looks like me be a B. You know what I mean? So I don't get to react. Last night and this morning, I was ready to make a ride, Jerome. I was ready to hop in the car and I was ready to ride out. But I don't get to do that. Oh Lord, it was a struggle. I had keys in my hand quite a few times this morning, but every time I grabbed the keys, I had to let the keys go because I don't live there. I don't get to, Jerome said, I don't get to go back to that person. I'm rolling on the floor.
Thank you, Tempestt. Thank you,
I don't get to roll on nobody. I don't get to go off the way I want to because I want more out of life. And if I go off, I knew that was a test. If I went off the way that I wanted to go off, the way that I'm capable of going off, I would have failed the test. And all of these lessons that I've been going through would have been for nothing. I would have been right back at square one. But there's something more. I'm leading on empty. I'm here. I'm tired. I'm broken. I didn't get no sleep last night. I'm hurting. I'm confused. I'm disappointed. I told somebody I feel like they spat on me and Antonio, and that pisses me off. And I don't get to react the way I want to. I want to flip a table. I want to tell somebody how I really feel about them, but I have to lead differently. I have to show up differently. And I'm sitting here thinking about being empty, and I forgot that I prayed. Be careful what you pray for, y'all. I prayed a prayer a couple of months ago to God remove what's stopping me from my next level. And I was expecting removing a mindset. I wasn't expecting people to be eliminated out of my life, but it was people in the way of being my destiny. It was people in the way of me and my next level. It's people in the way of my mountaintop experience. So they had to go. So listen, I'm empty because I asked to be empty. I'm empty because God couldn't take me. God couldn't leave me if I was full, y'all, because I was full of the wrong stuff. I was full on, let's ride out. I was full on, I'm ready to let you catch these hands. But I had to let that go, y'all, because last night, this morning would have went completely different. I called Antonio 3 times last night, and I was like, you got some bail money for me? Because I'm ready. Am I lying? I'm ready. I'm ready.
You ain't lying.
I called him this morning, and I was like, look here, I'm ready. You ready? Because I'm ready. I'm about to hop in the car right now, but I don't get to do that because I got goals. If I do that, my mom suffers. And I told somebody earlier this week, ain't no damn body worth that. You know what I mean? So I'm empty. I'm broken. I cried last night because it don't matter. I cried last night because I'm so empty. And Adonia said something. Thank you, Adonia. Adonia got my back. I cried last night, not because I was hurt, but because I'm so empty. And I couldn't call on Antonio because he's empty. So 2 empty leaders trying to move forward. That's hard. Yeah. That is disappointing. That is demoralizing. That made me want to say, Antonio, you know what? That's it. I ain't got no more in me. And I know he has no more in him because he's been taking way more than I have. It's hard. But it's worth it. I have to remind myself that emptiness is worth it because I'm going to get filled up on Liddell. I have to get filled up.
I'm getting ready to hire some ghouls. Wait a minute. I ain't lying.
Liddell, it sound like I need to talk to Liddell after the call for a position or 2. I don't know, but Pamela said we might be jail roommates. Listen, it was hard to not react the way my flesh wanted me to react, but I had to remember I asked for this. I asked to be empty in order to get full of what I'm supposed to be full on. So,
amen.
That's it.
Amen.
I'm not in jail. God is still good.
going to teach myself how to play the organ. I can run behind Tempestt with that organ. I would normally end right there. Like, it's such a good point to end right there. But I just got a funny feeling and a sneaky suspicion. Trish, let me hear from you.
All right. So I'm going to put it like this. A lot of credit for you to hold all that in. Now, excuse my French for this, but I'm just going to be real complete transparent on this one.
Talk freely, sir. Talk freely.
But know your self-worth. Don't know what your value is. Because I know, like, you're doing everything that you need to do to pretty much make it through this. But I feel like you need to, in your own way, put your foot down so there can be respect. Because it seems like you know that you're going through like a storm, like a very violent storm, and you're holding a lot of these things in. But I don't feel like there's a lot of respect for you as your individual and what the potential you can bring to be a positive impact into your situation. Now, I know this may not be the most easiest thing, but then again, anything that will lead to some great success or a great impact is never going to be easy. But I feel like there has to be some kind of dramatic change to actually change the situation, or this may be a constant cycle. Because even my own personal experiences, there's a time where I let a lot of things go by and didn't say anything, but I just had to know and put my foot down of what my worth is and what can I be respected and understood. And then slowly in due time, I got that respect that I needed. And people started following along. And that's how I got like inspiration and people like coming up to me and things like that, because there's others people that's probably going through your same situation because they're afraid to put their foot down. Now, I'm not going to say like there's just one way to do it, but I feel like in life, there has to be a certain moment where you have to put your foot down in order to get respect.
All facts. And definitely that. Let me tell you something. Please believe Tempestt put her foot down. Don't let that dimple fool y'all. Okay? Don't let that dimple fool y'all. Okay? That's a word for everybody. Don't let that dimple fool you, Jerome. She put her foot down today, too.
No. As you close, I want to say this to Chris.
Now, go ahead, man.
Because I got a few age on him. And Chris, this is really important, is that if you send your energy out there, if you expect the people what they're not capable of getting, then the only person that loses is you. If you know that your energy is valuable and it is, and you're giving it to somebody who can't appreciate it or will not receive it, then what you end up doing is wasting that energy. You need to make sure that energy goes out when it needs to go out, and not to someone who's going to disrespect it, even when you put it out there, even when you put your foot down. They're going to get theirs. But you have to be cautious about when you send the energy out there. That's why ATS is so profitable, and that's why ATS is done so well, is because Antonio and Tempestt have learned when to put that energy out there and when not.
That's right. That's facts. That's facts. Tempestt, get ready to close us out. But I need another preacher rant. I need a good one. I need another rant. You go. So stop, pile it up. But when you are rich, you don't get to put your foot down like that, okay? Let me get something. There's a whole different way to respond when you can lose $100 million.
Come on, bro.
Now let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it real.
Preach it.
When you can lose, 700,000 customers, you don't respond a certain way. Let's just keep it real. Solange was punching Jay-Z in the face of the elevator. But he's $400 million at that time. He would not. He just hit Forbes billionaire. He did.
Come on, man.
He's number 14 on Black billionaires. He did. But I tell you, had he hit her back, wouldn't be no billionaire.
Come on, preach it.
You know what I'm saying? And Solange, she was like 22 at the time. And he was like 49. Oh, the media would have had a wonderful. People would have gotten promoted. The lawyer would have. It would have been. Let me tell you, it would have been a wonderful day if Jay-Z did that. The vultures would have won that day. All right, when it's time. Not all of you, but there's ways to stand up for yourself when you are. Me and Tempestt not wealthy yet. Yet, by definition, we're wealthy. Well, you know what? We're not white people wealthy. Let me say that. I know I got white people. I know I got white people on. I don't mean no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean no disrespect. But y'all know who I am. All my fan base know. 2.4 million y'all a month know who I am. You know, I just say stuff. You understand? All right? We are. We're not white people wealthy. Okay? We are wealthy. We sign checks. We do well. We ain't signing Shaq checks though. You understand? We ain't signed Tom Brady check. That's a whole different wealthy. You know, when we give Daryl a 4-year max contract of $141 million to run the company, oh, we white folk wealthy there. Yeah. That's a whole different kind of wealth. You understand? When you say, Daryl, take $141 million to run this company, that's wealthy. That's a whole different kind of wealth. You understand? We got black wealth. You understand? We got black wealth. You understand? You understand? You understand? Debo, that he know his worth. I ain't mad at you. $141 million? All right, he know his worth. I ain't mad at you. But please know that when you get, I put lawyers in people's life. I got 3 lawyers, y'all. I got 3 lawyers. I do. I got a business lawyer, a criminal lawyer, and a tax lawyer. And I keep the criminal lawyer at bay just in case I trip out and forget my learned behavior. You never know. You never know. You never know. Because if I get in trouble, it's my fault. I'm going to tell you straight up. It is my fault. I lost it that day because I'm pretty calm. I'm pretty collective. I got it together. But if y'all see me, y'all done caught me on an empty day. Somebody done fooled around the damn and caught me empty. Hey, the fool around walked in my office and said something they shouldn't have said. I was empty that day. I was empty. But through it all, somehow, and y'all got to realize this, me and Tempestt are 2 black kids from the hood. Hood. Not we don't mean that fake. Her hood name is Studewood. You know, when your hood is called Studewood, you can kind of imagine. You know, it's a trampoline outside. It's a trampoline outside. It's 9 churches in a 3-block radius. Come on now. They got a couple of homeless people. One of them named Popcorn or Pop Squally or something like that. 20 Keishas. Everybody a grandmother. And there is a popcorn. See, I ain't know that. But listen, I know the hood. I'm from the hood. Oh, it's the most certain Metro PCS. There's a Metro PCS. She got 5 liquor stores around there. She get to pick which liquor store. Ain't no banks. Ain't no banks around there. Ain't no banks around there. A highway is 60 feet away, because that's what they do. That's what they do. They put the hood right by the highway. Don't play. Don't play.
Check cash place.
We from the hood. Yeah. We from the hood. We from the hood where mama would show up at school with rollers in her head.
Oh.
Yeah, we from the hood. And we built this company, and here's the crazy part. We built the company to where more, I can't say white folk, I gotta say something more classy. More people who don't look like us, buy from us than the people who look like us.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. To where it looked like I'm serious, you know? And somehow we did it. We got here. And when you get that much power, you gotta act like you got that much power. This last thing I'm gonna say, Tempestt, you gotta close this out because what I'm about to say is too real. Y'all do know we made it. But the way the system's set up, if you don't look like us, you can make it a few times. It's all right. You can file bankruptcy 5 times and still get it back. Our current president has filed bankruptcy multiple times. You get it back. But when you look like us, if you get it once, you better stay there.
Done.
Because if you lose it, they ain't letting you back. Nah, I said something there. I don't care what you say. That's real. And I can say that because, well, Les Brown said I got walk away money. I can say it because I got my own economy and can't nobody put me out, right? I got my own economy. So I can speak how I want to speak, like Donald Trump speaks how he wants to speak. Me and Donald Trump got the same friends and file the same taxes. Tempestt, close us out.
I have absolutely nothing to say after that. Thank you all so much for joining us for this Brick by Brick podcast. I hope to see you all soon. Please pray for Antonio. Pray for us because we have to deal with Antonio. He has said,
I'm Donald Trump.
We about to lose
I'm Donald
everything.
Trump. I don't need no prep.
Too loud.
Donald Trump.
Thank you. He's too loud too. Thank you all so much. Have a great evening. We'll see you next time.
All right, everybody. Bye.
Bye.